Oh my God. Horrible photo. Okay. So I wanted to talk about overthinking and the futility of it, basically the pointlessness of what overthinking is. So a lot of people think I wanted to research about what people consider overthinking to be, and also normalizing it because it's always considered to be like an issue that only occurs in adults. But it's also something that occurs in people my age or in the teenagers or even younger. And I also wanted to talk about like the different aspects of what overthinking is because people always assume that it's only about decision making and that you can never like make the right decision. But there's many aspects of it because as an overthinker myself, I was overthinking about this presentation a lot. And so that's what I'm here to share today. So normalizing the experience and what it's considered. So a research that I was like going through on Google says that overthinking isn't like considered a mental illness, and I agree because it's not. But they say it's about dwelling or thinking about something again and again, which is an aspect of what it is, but not totally what it stands for. So there's an aspect of what ifs that go through someone's brain. Now, for example, for me, when I was backstage, I was like, what if I stutter? Or what if I forget what I'm going to say? And what ifs kind of control your thoughts because you go from one problem to another and you spiral out, and then you don't really have control over what's going through your brain, which can be really consuming for your mental and also physical well-being. Now, let's take a scenario where you're on a road trip, and suddenly you're like, wait, did I leave the sink running? And actually, in reality, you didn't, but you go from one problem to another, and you're convincing yourself. You're like, what if I left the sink running? Wait, what if it overfills, and then it falls on my kitchen flooring, and then it gets ruined, and blah, 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 blah. And then you convince yourself that you did leave it on, even though you didn't. So now there's two outcomes here. One, you could go all the way back to check, and then you realize that it wasn't on, and now you're frustrated with yourself, and you wasted a bunch of your time. But there's another outcome here, where you could let go of all your feelings and think, what's the most logical and smartest way in this scenario? So if I was in that position, I would maybe call up a neighbor and just ask them, like, hey, can you check? Like, is the sink running through my house? Or if there's a friend or family in your house, you could ask them to do so as well. So another aspect which people think is mainly what overthinking is decision making. And a lot of the times, people think that, oh, overthinking is just you can't make the right decision. And a lot of times, people overthink because they want to make sure that they're making the right decision. So let's take a scenario where you're doing a test, and it's a multiple choice test. So you're convinced that it could either be choice A or choice B. Now, either you're like, yes, it's A. No, wait, maybe actually it's B. Or maybe you just don't know what it is. And that uncertainty can lead to a lot of fear because studies show that a lot of people that consciously are always overthinking and can't make decisions, they have this fear to ever make decisions for themselves. And also, in reality, a lot of people will be scared and won't trust you to make decisions for them, which can lead to a lot of other issues and more problems in life. So I overthink too, and a lot of the times, people always like think that, oh, you're just a child, you don't overthink, there's nothing to worry about. It's only like us adults, but in reality, a lot of students and a lot of children have many things that lead up to overthinking. It could be for schoolwork, like exams, tests, homework, could be friends or peer pressure or family issues. All those things can build up and lead to what overthinking is. So a study says that around 73% of adults between the ages of 25 and 35 overthink, which is completely normal because maybe you're starting work or a family or whatever is going on in life. And then they say that 52% of people around the ages of 45 and 55 overthink. Again, totally normal. But it was really hard to find a lot of articles that supported my idea that kids around my age overthink as well, which is something that needs to be normalized because if a child who overthinks a lot is not supported now, it can lead to a lot of depression and anxiety when growing older. So there's a few statements and images that I think really represent what I think about how pointless overthinking can be. So this one here says that overthinking is the art of creating problems that never existed, connecting back to the sink one. You're going from one problem to another, and you're convincing yourself and making scenarios in your head that never needed to exist, which can be useless and unnecessary. There's these two other statements that I think really need to be emphasis on, because they really support what overthinking can be seen as. So this one says, I've got 99 problems and 86 of them are completely made up of scenarios in my head. So again, you're spiraling out, you're not able to control, and you're convincing yourself of these problems that never existed. And that can be really consuming. And stop overthinking. You can't control it, just let it go. A lot of the times people think that I'm going to overthink, then I can control all my feelings, I can organize it. But in reality, you are filled with so many thoughts, you don't have control over it at all. And that can be really consuming as well, and it can really deteriorate your mental health. But overthinking, yes, is a personal thing. You overthink for your decisions in your life. But it's not always that case. You can have help. People can support you. People are always saying, oh no, I can't help you in overthinking. I can't go in your brain and sort all your thoughts out. And I agree, you can't do that. But if I have somebody there to give me company, to support me and just be there and help my mental and physical well-being, then it can prevent isolation. Because, when you're isolated just with you and your thoughts, it can be really scary, and people will have a fear for that. And like a lot of the other problems, it can lead to anxiety, depression, and many other scary things. And like I said before, if it's not normalized in people in the younger ages, then it can be really scary for them if they're not able to express their feelings. So that's why I wanted to conclude this. We're talking about the power of the present, because a lot of the times people overthink about what could happen in the future or what's already happened in the past. And it's important that all your ideas and all your thoughts and feelings should be focused on what's going to happen today and now, because the more you worry about what's going to happen in the future, you're ruining the moment that you're living in right now, and you're not able to enjoy it, and you're making just your life more miserable. That's why it's important, because power of the present is one of the most important powers, and it's important to just enjoy your life right now and be focused on what's happening right now. Thank you.